Are we going to be seeing increased volatility for Bitcoin leading into the FOMC meeting as numbers are coming out, jobs numbers, CPI data inflation is coming out next week. We also are expecting now a 50 basis point rate hike. Why that might not be bullish in the short term, but it could be very bullish in the long term. We have some historical facts and statistics to share with you. Also, big day for Polygon Matic as they have started their token migration from the Matic token to the POL ecosystem token. What should you do if you're a holder of Polygon Matic? We're going to talk about that. Also, congratulations are in order for Mr. John Deaton, who will be going head to head with Miss Elizabeth Warren in the Massachusetts Senate race. What is that going to look like, and what are the chances of victory, and what that could mean for crypto? We also have some news on Near Protocol to share with you, and what's going to come first, 40K or 80K Bitcoin? We'll have that discussion and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's go.
Boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time here, welcome to the club. We take old, boring, stale information, repackage that thing up in a fun and sexy. The market is a little down, but Big Rob is really big up on the market and what direction we're going. You know what?
Wow.
I've been on the tour de la YouTube content creator cryptocurrency sector, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of depressing narratives, and I am here to console you. I'm here to reel you back into reality. We are post having an all-time highs are around the corner. 80,000, here we come. And if you're not bullish, can I get some, like, we got air horn sound effects still? Do we got the burr, burr, burr? Is that thing gone? All right, we're going to re-implement that thing. But if you are not excited about this bull market, wake the hell up, because you know what?
We're in a bull market?
We are an absolute bull market. And if you are a doubter in the bull market, look no further than the 1 year chart. So 1 year ago today, we were at $25,000 in just a few short 3-month window here. We went from 25,000 to 40,000, and then 3 months later up to 60,000. Sure, we've been consolidating. Sure, we've traded sideways. Maybe we were a little ahead of the game initially, but you know what? We are in a confirmed bull market, and this is not the last stop. We will be going further. Rate cuts are coming around the corner. As you alluded to, 0.5% is on the table. It's no longer a facade or a dream. Speaking of dreams, I'll expand on that in a minute. But also, if you are not just hyper bullish on this, you need to wake the hell up, because you are the smart money. Do not wait until Bitcoin is at 100,000 before you start making some moves. The time is now. Also, at a new cold brew concentrate coffee, which I didn't know was concentrated. I went full YOLO on that thing.
Wow.
I read the bottle and I was like, this is strong. And it said 2x dilute with water. And I was like, I did not dilute with water.
That's explain a lot of things.
You know what, Moonboy? Let me tell you something.
What?
I agree with the one statement you made that shouldn't wait for, in my personal investment strategy, I don't think there's ever a bad time to buy Bitcoin. Save your money in Bitcoin. As long as you have a long-term time horizon, as long as it's not like, I want to put in $500 a month, and then in 1 year, I need to get that money back. If you can expand out 5 years, a decade, 20 years, whatever your number is, $50 a month, $500 a month, $5,000 a month, who cares? Put an order in every single month and just forget about it. Let it come out of your paycheck. Let it come out of your bank account, wherever it needs to come out of, underneath the mattress. Who cares? Just keep stacking. And I promise you, when you look back in 5 years, I was talking to one of my friends about this. She's got a 11-year-old, 12-year-old daughter, and she's like, she kind of made a jab at the whole Bitcoin thing. I was like, look, Bitcoin's been around for a while, and it's going to go up. It's in a little rough little spot right now. I was like, how old's your daughter? She's like 12. I was like, how would you feel if at age 18, you were able to hand your daughter over a little USB drive with $500,000 on it and say, here you go, sweetheart. Buy a car, go to college without taking on student debt, start a business. I'm like, you can realistically do that by really not having to break the bank and just staying consistent every week, every 2 weeks, every month. Put money in there, forget about it. Don't look at the price. And then when your daughter turns 18, hand her over the USB stick. She'll be eternally grateful for you. And I truly believe that. Each one of my kids has an account with Bitcoin in it. And the amount is pretty small, but my kids are very young. And so I know that by the time they each turn 18 or 21, they're going to be sitting on a crap load of money that they can now start their adulthood journey for. So if you got a family, if you got kids, or even if it's just for yourself, for your own retirement, right? The amount of money people need for retirement is only increasing, and the government entities that are supposed to be funding part of your retirement are decreasing. Social Security, right? Medicaid, all those things. They're saying Social Security is going to run out of money in 2033. Less than 10 years.
They're just going to expand on it.
Sure.
At the stroke of midnight, they'll just add.
Great.
They'll
yes,
put more money.
but what does that mean for your money?
Let me tell you something, man.
That means your money's going to... I'm not done yet. Hold your horses.
But I don't want to lose my thought here.
Okay. I'll lose my thought. Go ahead, Robin.
Okay.
I'll sacrifice
perfect.
my
There
thought
we go.
to you.
There we go. Yeah. Your thought sucks. Hey, so your idea of saving money for your kids with Bitcoin is flawed. It is broken. And you are teaching them the wrong way of going about life in crypto, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah, because you literally said, I'm gonna save up Bitcoin, I'm gonna give it to them. The first thing they're gonna do is sell. Sell your Bitcoin, go to college, sell your Bitcoin, buy a car. I'm doing the exact opposite. You know what I'm doing? I'm hoarding my Bitcoin, and then when they get old, I'm sending them out there with no cash, go survive, and then when you hit rock bottom, I'll send you some Bitcoin.
Wow. That's good parenting, man.
It is.
Really good parenting.
You know? Hey.
Yeah, or they can use their Bitcoin as leverage to borrow capital, you know?
Yeah. You know they're not going to use that. You give an 18-year-old $500,000 and you're like, here you go, do something fun with this.
If you teach them the right way.
They bought a Lamborghini.
You know,
hey, they might have enough money to buy a Lambo as well. But with all that being said, don't think for a second that because we're getting rate cuts that all of a sudden Bitcoin's going to go up. Historically,
it is going to go up. Let me ask you a question. Dave. Is the United States government slowing down on printing money?
Yes, they have.
Okay, slightly. But, okay, compared to how much money we were printing in a 10-year time window from 1990 to 2000, are we printing more money at a faster rate of speed?
I don't know that.
Yes. And outside of the bailouts for the banks for the 2008 financial crisis, up from 2000 to 2008, very moderate amount of expansion. If anything, we had a balanced budget prior to 2008 and under Bill Clinton. And so we are printing more money. That is not slowing down. And perhaps we've taken a slight pause in a very narrow window from 2022 to early 2024. We took a break. The Fed was like, all right, man, this is a little out of control. Let's just pump the brakes. But now the printer is turning back on at a rate of speed that the likes we've never seen before. And so
we've literally seen worse.
And so where I'm getting at is that we are printing money. We are post-halving. There is less Bitcoin. We are on track for typical bull market. A year ago, $25,000 Bitcoin already broke new all-time highs. Rate cuts are coming. And I'm supposed to believe that we're mailing the Bitcoin bull market?
No one's mailing anything.
Well, that's my opening statement. I said, hey, I've been circling around the Bitcoin and the crypto YouTube channels, and it's been the same damn narrative. You know, is the top end? Is bull market over? Are we done? You know, Mount Gox. I'm like, the thing's over. And so, like,
no more. Stop it.
Yeah, my thing is just like, guys, wake the hell up.
No more. Yeah.
Like, and what bull market in past has not seen a big drawdown before the big rally? It has happened time and time again. Last bull market, we went from 8,000 to 20-something thousand, and we pulled back to 18. Everyone's like, that's it. And then we go up to 40,000. We pull back down to 30-something. Oh, that's it. It's over. And now we went from 25,000 to new all-time highs. And sure, it's been a nice long 6 months consolidation. Whatever. And now we pull back from 60 down to 57. And it's like, ah! And so it's just like, guys, wake the hell up, man. I'm telling you, the time is now. The time to strike is now. And if you have lost faith in Bitcoin, which I feel like that whole narrative is that people are fading this upcoming market and they are nervous for some damn reason. And I call to you to just be like, wake the hell up. It is time to get ready for the next level of Bitcoin's movement, of altcoins price action that is soon to follow Bitcoin's movement. And I've never been more excited. I don't know where else to throw money at, man.
I know where else you can throw money at.
What?
I was going to pull up the video. Never mind. I want to share some historical stats with you. So this is from CharlesSchwab.com. These are all the rate cuts. So on the bottom, November 1929 was the first rate cut, and then February, so on and so forth. And in the bars, you see how the S&P has performed 12 months removed from the first rate cut. You can see all but 2 years, we've seen big rallies from the S&P 500, including 35%, 30%, 33%. You have a few 20% plus. And then the last one, the most recent one, was in July of 2019, where we saw the price 12 months removed up 8.7% in the stock market. Well, what happens when they start cutting rates? Initially, the market starts to dip. You can see here, going back to December of 2000, the S&P 500 dipped from around 1369 to a low of around 922, and then the Feds kept the rates steady. Market kind of chopped sideways. We had some moves to the upside, downside. And then when they started hiking rates slowly, the market started going up. Let's take a look here. This was back in August of 2007. Market started trending down. And then, of course, leading into 2008, you saw that big move to the downside. But when they started cutting rates prior to the great financial crisis, markets were moving down and then had a big rally to the upside. Rates stayed flat as the markets rallied. And then we take a look at the more recent. And this is in 2020. So I feel like this is something that maybe we can exclude from this analysis, but still, right? Rate cuts, market dips, they hold the rates at zero for quite a while, quite a long time. Markets rally as they raise the rates. And so where we at today, markets are flat, or sorry, the rates have been flat. History tells us we should see at least a very short-term price dip to the downside and then a big rally to ensue.
But on this historical kind of narrative, why did we get rate cuts is because of economic, like massive shock, right? The 2008 financial crisis, the 2020 COVID, situation. And so those were reactionary price cuts. And so why did the market turn down? Well, I think it's more of a, hey, banks are failing. Hey, the United States is going to shut down because of a pandemic. And so the markets got spooked, and that's why the price went down on everything. And so for me, I just look at it like we're not in a situation where something is broken and they have to like dramatically cut rates. It's just, hey, the Fed is coming in with this idea. Hey, you know what? We've had this recessionary period, this cool off for long enough, and now let's spur the economy. Let's cut some rates. Dramatically different than what we saw in 2020, where, hey, everything's about to go under. Bankruptcies are here. Uncertainty. The world is coming to an end. Cut rates. In 2008, it was, well, everything was overvalued. Everything was overvalued. The banks over leveraged. Banks are failing. Cut rates to save the banks and save our economy. In 2008, and so it's this scenario that if you look at history and rate cuts and said, hey, look, we expect the market to draw down. I think they cut rates because the market was drawing down. And now we're seeing the exact opposite. We're seeing a scenario where the Fed is like, hey, man, you know what? Let's pump the fucking markets. That's where we're at. Let's cut the rates. Unemployment's going up. We need to tamper this down. We need to bring home some jobs. And if you think for a second that the office that is the sitting office, executive branch, if they don't have some kind of secret backdoor rooms, whispers, some kind of private communications with the Fed for them to cut rates to incentivize voters to come in and vote for Kamala Harris, I mean, that's obviously what's happening. Don't you agree?
No.
You just think it's a coincidence. Like, let me get this correct. You think it's an absolute coincidence that we haven't cut rates this entire time, right? That unemployment's going up, and then just 80 days before the election, we're having, you know what? We're going to cut rates by 0.5%. That just randomly comes up right before the election.
They never said half.
Whatever. Either way, they haven't. It's been meeting after meeting after meeting. We keep talking about it. They should have cut rates. We should have cut rates.
Hit. Inflation is.
So you think it's just a coincidence on the timing? It just
Jerome
sheer.
Powell is a Republican. He was appointed by Donald Trump.
If you believe that this guy's not getting swayed by the sitting presidential office,
if
Biden
anything, any macro historian would tell the administration, if that's the case, that hey, right after they cut rates, the market goes down.
With this exception, it's not that we're cutting rates, not reactionary. We're cutting rates because we want to spur the economy.
It is kind of reactionary because the unemployment rate's going up and the jobs numbers are shit.
And so why are they cutting rates? They're
Because of
trying.
that.
No, but what is the purpose of them cutting rates?
To ease the monetary policy.
To spur economic activity, for them to create jobs. You create jobs by spurring the economy, right? If all of a sudden Amazon is in profit, Walmart's in profit, you're seeing record profits for Target, all of this retail.
What does it mean when the Fed cut rates? Well, what effect does it have?
There's been two scenarios where Feds cut rates. One is that there's a panic going on in the markets and they cut rates to prevent a collapse. That's not what we're seeing right now. We're seeing them cut rates because they want to spur economic activity and they want to create jobs because companies are in the profits. When companies are making money, they hire. When companies are losing money, they lay off. And when you lay off, you lose jobs. And so you want to create jobs. So to your exact point, if the jobs numbers are bad and they want to ease the unemployment, they spur the economy, they inject money into businesses, and they hire.
They make borrowing cheaper.
Yes, exactly. And what happens with big businesses when borrowing's cheaper? They expand, they open up a new office, they borrow money.
That's my point.
Exactly. That's my point.
But what I'm trying to say is the reason they're cutting is jobs, not because they're getting a phone call from Kamala Harris.
You really believe that? Rocco, let me ask you a question.
Right here.
Do you believe?
Why you ask Rocco?
What do you believe?
Is a point. Why you ask Rocco is gonna already say
he's gonna
hey,
agree
you're
with
right.
Robin.
No, I mean I honestly don't know. I'm genuinely curious. Like, do you think that it's a coincidence that 80 days before the election that the Fed now wants to cut rates?
No, absolutely not. This has been always a trend.
Yeah.
I wish there was a chart to kind of track all this stuff.
If you believe that
every election
that
is
the
always the
current
same.
administration just happens to go up for re-election, is behind on the polls, and somehow or another the Fed decides, hey, you know what? Now's a good time. Not 6 months ago, not a year ago, not post-election. It's not like we're going into financial collapse. Let me ask you a question. Do you think we would go into a recession if they didn't cut rates, if they kept us steady?
I think if we cut rates, we're going into a recession.
No. I'm just saying that. If we cut rates, we're going into a recession.
Look at history. You do not understand macroeconomics. Look at history, bro.
Once again, we cut rates in 2020. Why?
COVID.
Okay. In 2008, we cut rates. Why?
They were cutting rates before 2000.
Yeah, and then they went straight to zero. But why?
Because the markets collapsed.
Exactly.
So the markets are not collapsing. We're at all-time highs.
My point exactly. So the markets are not collapsing.
You keep saying my point exactly, but you're saying different things.
No, you're saying
my point exactly on
you're
what?
saying this is what you're telling me. You said when they cut rates, the markets go down. Look at history. And what I'm telling you is that history There's been massive problems economically, and that's why they cut rates. So they're not reactionary. So if you're going to bring up history, you say, hey, they cut rates, markets go down. True, but they cut rates because the markets are already going down. That's why they cut rates. This scenario is different. This scenario, they're cutting rates for the markets to go up.
The markets are already going up.
Exactly. Imagine what happens when they cut rates. If we're already going up and you cut rates, imagine what's going to happen.
You literally have no idea.
Plus the Bitcoin cycle. Oh, what do you mean I have no idea?
You have no idea. We'll see. We'll see what happens when they cut rates in September. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll go to 80K Bitcoin.
You said 90. Now you're at 80?
Well, you get to 80 before 90.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, this is all short-term stuff, right? But with an asset like Bitcoin, you got to think long-term. And you won't find anyone more bullish on Bitcoin long-term than the people on this channel. So it'll just be interesting to see how it plays out. This time is different.
Yeah. When do you think Bitcoin hits 100K?
I think Bitcoin will either wick to 100 or get there by November.
This year.
Correct. Yes.
And you're telling me that you're expecting the market to drop after the... Okay, let me ask you a question. If the market goes down, does Bitcoin still get to 100K?
Bitcoin's been uncorrelated with what the NASDAQ and the S&P has done for the last 6 months.
So in 2020, when the markets tanked, Bitcoin hit 8,000. The S&P broke new all-time high after new all-time high. Bitcoin also broke new all-time highs. That is correlated.
I just said the last 6 months. The last 6 months, they've been uncorrelated.
Yes, in the last
stock market has the S&P all-time high, NASDAQ all-time high, Dow Jones all-time high, Bitcoin consolidates downward. We'll see. Time will tell, but we do have some metrics to share with you. So Bitcoin long-term holders display strategic patience amid 2024 price rallies. This is from cryptoslate.com. Bitcoin's revived supply, which tracks the reactivation of coins dormant for over a year, has displayed notable fluctuations in 2024. There have been periodic spikes, particularly in April and June, coinciding with Bitcoin's price nearing post-halving highs. These movements suggest that some long-term holders seized opportunities presented by market rallies, a behavior observed in past cycles, essentially saying the dormant supply starts moving around when Bitcoin starts hitting new all-time highs. People taking profits. So historically, significant increases in revived supply have often aligned with major price movements, such as a bull run in late 2017 and the surge in 2021. However, compared to earlier periods, the 2024 spikes are less pronounced, reflecting a broader trend of declining revived supply since Bitcoin's 2021 peak, meaning less people are moving their coins. This decrease suggests a shift in long-term holder behavior, potentially indicating increased conviction in holding or a more strategic approach to market participation as Bitcoin matures as an asset class. And let me get rid of this. Here's a chart that kind of shows you this. So in the orange is your revived supply of 1+ years, and in black is the price of Bitcoin. You can see here as the revived supply spikes, the Bitcoin price trends downwards. And so interesting to see, we talk about this all the time on the show. People not wanting to sell their Bitcoin on top of the 450 being mined per day, which we can assume, worst case scenario, all of that is sell pressure, going from 900 to 450. And then what the ETFs are going to be doing. Now, we know we've seen big outflows from the ETF yesterday. Almost $300 million flowed out of the Bitcoin ETFs, with Fidelity leading the way at 162 million. Grayscale, 50 mil. Are they out of Bitcoin yet? Grayscale?
No. Still a lot of long-term holders that don't want to take the capital gain.
They got to be out of Bitcoin sometime soon. Anyways, which brings our net total to negative $287 million. So yeah, what are your thoughts on what we've seen with the outflows? I mean, seeing 400 million plus days since the 27th of August. Prior to that, we had a 3-4 day run of positive inflows.
I don't know what to measure from the extremely short-term movements of Bitcoin and these ETFs. You know, I think if we saw big price movements, I would be a little bit more inclined to take a look at this. for me right now, I think it's just a natural movement of the markets. What I like to look at is not so much the data analytics, but what are the greats saying about Bitcoin? And so I found this very interesting here. You got Scottie Pippen. He said Satoshi Nakamoto visited him in his dream last night and predicted that Bitcoin would be at $84,650 on November 5th. Not financial advice. And so I ask you, did Satoshi Nakamoto visit Scottie Pippen, David?
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. They do those sketch drawings, the detectives, homicide.
Yes.
I heard they brought him in. The FBI brought him in to do a sketch drawing.
I mean, it's hard.
What did his nose look like?
And so,
How far apart were his eyes? That sounds that's. I feel like that's something I think the other thing too, with the election 80 days out, is we've seen a lot of, and if you take a look at the statistics, when Kamala was announced as the new, Democratic nominee, and her poll numbers are going up, right? A lot of people call it the honeymoon phase. It's like a new thing. You saw the meme coins, the political meme coins, especially the Trump one. We know a lot of people in our community have exposure to that. That started going down. It's also, I'm not saying it's 100% coincidence. That's kind of also where crypto started going down. Then you see the poly market and Trump's odds go up and the markets start going up a little bit. Again, I'm not saying it's 100% correlated, but I think a lot of people are putting a lot of weight to the fact that, hey, if Trump does not win, doesn't mean Bitcoin's going away. Doesn't mean we're not going to see, a good price movement. But it's not as bullish as if Trump were to win. I think that's pretty obvious in what the markets are telling us. So it'll be interesting to see as the election draws close. We have the debate on the 10th, right? Depending on how either one does. And, the media pundits will claim the winner. This person won, this person lost. And I think we'll see a lot of volatility with that, with the FOMC, with everything else going on. So I think September is going to be a very volatile month. We'll see where the VIX goes. Typically, when the VIX does spike, prices of risk on assets drop. We saw that happen when the Japanese carry trade on that Monday, VIX spiked up to, I believe, close to 80 or even above 80. And the market's Bitcoin wick down to under $50,000. So we'll see what kind of volatility will it be the good volatility to the upside, or will we see a spike in the VIX and the price of Bitcoin drop? I do think we see 40K before we see 80K, but I think it'll be high 40s. I think it'll be, are you looking at my shirt? See a lot of people complimenting me on my shirt today. American shirt. You right? You want to take a picture? Go ahead, man.
I told Jimmy he can have it.
Yeah.
You have an auction.
You're giving my shirt away, huh?
Yeah, we have an auction.
Like
Your shirt is going to be auctioned right before the Michael Jackson gloves.
Ah, okay. Kind of like candles, but they're popsicle sticks. I lost my train of thought. So yeah, we're going to see a lot of volatility. I do think we'll see high 40s before we see 80s, but I think it'll be a short wick.
You'll see high 40s before 80s.
Yeah. I'm bearish on September, man. It is what it is. You're bullish on September. I'm very bullish on October though, and November. Just the cycles, man. Look at historically. You try to overthink it and say this time is a little different, but I don't know, man. I think September is going to be a little bearish, and then October, November, it's going to be good, and then December, everyone's spending money on Christmas presents, running off into the visiting family, and it's going to be kind of boring. And then New Year comes. Also, October, fiscal policy or fiscal year begins for companies and the government. So new spending should be exciting.
What do you think there in the chat? I want your opinion. Do we see 40,000 before we see 80,000?
40s.
40,000 and some numbers.
It could be 49,999.
Do you see 40,000 before you see 80,000? I'm curious to know what you guys think. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that David is spot on and that the bull market's canceled and we're going to 40,000.
Never said the bull
Stop
market
it. I got my moment here. And put a 2 in the chat if you think that Bitcoin is on the way to 80,000 and 40,000. That's crazy. Don't talk that foolishness here. Thank you.
I want to share head over the sea here, talk a little bit about Japan. So this could have some interesting implications. So Japan to lower the maximum tax rate on Bitcoin and crypto from 55%, I didn't even know it was that high, to 20% in line with financial assets. What kind of downstream effects do you think this would have? Do you think this maybe was part of the reason why investors in Japan were not investing in Bitcoin? Because they're like, shit, I'm not like, even if we make $1 million, we're going to have to give 550,000 of that away to taxes, where I can just put $1 million, earn, half of the returns and still keep more of my money. What kind of downstream effects do you think this could possibly have?
I don't know. I think it's a little too broad of a move, especially with taxes, to identify like what effect that'll have. Because on one end, you're going to spur buyers, right? On one end, you're going to say, hey, look, the tax hit for crypto is in line with the stock market. So let me diversify my portfolio. Let me get some proportion of crypto now as well, because I'm not taxed at 50%. That's crazy. You got to absolutely nail it to
Japan is the third largest economy in the world, right?
Yeah, so you got to absolutely nail it to make any money in crypto, right? You got to buy Bitcoin at 10,000 and then sell it at 30,000 to turn a profit. You got a 3x to turn profit when you're at a 50% tax. Now that drops. So you're going to incentivize buying, but at the same time, how many holders of Bitcoin, how many holders are there that have not sold? That they said, hey, you know what? I don't want to take the tax hit. I'm not going to sell my Bitcoin. And now you just said, hey, exit plan. The exit door is here, guys. Instead of selling it at 50%, now you can sell and your gains are at 20%. And so which one of those will prevail? I would lean towards the side that I think that people aren't going to exit their position simply because the taxes are lower. I think there are people that have exposure to Bitcoin, especially if they're ready to take a 50% tax hit. They probably all in on crypto, right?
But I'm saying it's going to bring new money in.
Like I said, I don't know which one. Yes, it'll bring new money, but I don't know if it's going to cause more sell pressure, because now you can
take less of a tax hit.
Yeah, take less of a tax hit, or maybe it'll spur a giant surge. I don't know. I'd like to lean towards it's going to bring in more money, because people are going to now not be scared to jump in on crypto. I think that there's probably a lot of businessmen and
here's my
investors
question, Robin,
that stayed away for that reason.
Well, exactly. Well, here's the question. The people that still bought crypto and Bitcoin, knowing that when they sell, they got to pay 55%, can I argue that those people are probably not looking to sell?
Yeah, that's what I meant. They obviously have conviction.
We should see more people enticed to put money in versus people enticed to
But the Japanese economy has seen a lot of downturn recently. So maybe there's people that are looking to exit and they just haven't because of the tax implications. And maybe now it is. I'm just saying that, like, I don't know, man. I try to shy away from, hey, this is going to happen and it's going to drop the market or it's going to pump the market, especially when it comes to Bitcoin and its movement and sale pressure. I just always look at like Mt. Gox and everyone's like, oh, this is going to happen. And then this is going to draw the price down. This is going to happen. And like, it was like 8 years of that crap. And so for me, I just try to like think that, you know what, there's ebbs and flows in the market. One narrative isn't going to push or drop the price dramatically unless it's like an FTX explosion or something, or Mt. Gox hack. Outside of these giant events that rob, billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin from retail. Outside of those events, I think that you have natural ebbs and flows in the market. It's hard to predict what is going to be a larger influence, buy or sell, or how big of an impact. So I think it's ultimately bullish. I think it incentivizes more users, and maybe in the short term we get a price drop. Maybe in the long term we get a pump. I don't know, but I think that it signals that to nations that, hey, look, you know what? Let's just try to make some money off of this instead of trying to regulate it into death or tax it into death, because that's essentially what Japan was doing, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the Near Protocol account got hacked.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So if you're on X, don't click any links on Near Protocol. But he's shit posting Solana.
Mm.
You guys like this bald MFer? This guy, Mert. And he puts his phone number on there and talking about launching a coin. Anyways, don't click on anything on the Near Protocol website there, or the X. Man, I want to give a big shout out to John Deaton. He's officially he won the Republican primary in Massachusetts. So he will be going head to head against the anti-crypto Karen herself, Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Anti-crypto Karen.
Yeah, that's what I've seen on social media. Anyways, we had John on our show. Man, we're excited to see him beat Elizabeth Warren. And she's already started. She said she's going to debate John Deaton, criticizes crypto billionaire bros. So Elizabeth Warren has agreed to debate Republican candidate John Deaton before the November election for one of the U.S. Senate seats in Massachusetts, but it's unclear whether crypto will be on the agenda. I can almost guarantee you that crypto will be brought up, whether by Warren or by Deaton. But it'll be interesting to see how this thing plays out. I'll put it to you this way. If John Deaton can go into Massachusetts as a first-time politician and beat out one of the most, I think, like the last 10 years, or the last 3 or 4 election cycles, she's won in a landslide in Massachusetts, right? Lot of influence in the world of finance. A lot of people point to her when they talk about Joe Biden's anti-crypto policy and all the people that are in place. Marty Greenberg, the former FDIC chair with the Choke Point 2.0. Gary Gensler. We know there was, she was giving him the answers and questions prior to the hearings. If he can beat her, I mean, that would be pretty massive for our industry, because you go directly after crypto. You got a pro-crypto guy running against you, first timer, and beats you in your home state that you've held for 20, 30 years. It would be a bad look for the rest of the politicians that are looking to go the anti-crypto route. So that being said, throw it over to Jim Beam to look over the markets. Jimmy.
You said Jim Beam?
Yeah.
Why are you calling me Jim Beam?
I don't know.
Inside joke?
Can we look at the markets or what, man?
All right. All right, bro. So
You got nothing.
yeah, it's because you made nothing out of it. Call me Jim Beam out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't even like Jim Beam. It's disgusting.
Would you prefer,
Nasty
you
whiskey.
prefer Jack Daniels?
Also disgusting. Stop. Like the 2 worst liquors.
Anyways,
Bitcoin, 57,000. Hanging out here, 7-day, down. On the month, up. Year, up. Okay, let's move on. Altcoins. So, Aave is up 10%.
that was a really good Bitcoin analysis, man.
Yeah, you know what? Like, it's been sideways forever. Like, there's no point in going over this thing anymore.
That's why
I'll wait for this thing to break out.
That's why when Magic was on yesterday, I was like, could you show us something new? Like the last 6 months you've been coming on the show, it's been the same thing.
Yeah. So Aave's up significantly today, up 10%. Might
Dude.
have something to do with the fact that Trump's DeFi platform is going to be using Ethereum and particularly leveraging Aave. And so
They're leveraging Aave? I didn't see that.
Yep.
They are?
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was something else. I thought it was their stable coin pretty much being integrated with BlackRock's tokenized fund.
Yeah. Let's see. Trump, DeFi, Aave.
You know, 70% of those, the World Liberty Finance, their projects, 70% of those coins are insider held. No bueno.
So here you got Trump unveils DeFi project with Aave and Polygon, with Aave, and then Polygon debuts the token. So, yeah, this here is, in my estimation, why the price is up. No coincidence there. And so that's something to keep an eye out. How bullish are you on Aave, especially if Trump and his DeFi?
I put out a post. I bought some Aave on the last dip down to under 120.
This thing has performed pretty well this year.
Aave's great, man. I mean, you look at Aave's token. I mean, you just
on the 1 year outperforming Bitcoin. So you can see here, $55 a year ago, and you compare this to Bitcoin here. It has recently outperformed Bitcoin significantly. And so at this point, just a month ago, sitting at $113 and now at what was the price? Under $100 a month ago and now at $135. So quite significant price
Aave is juicy,
action,
man.
yeah.
And it's only got 14 million circulating supply.
I think that the fact that Trump's platform, DeFi platform, is leveraging Aave is not even giving this thing credit. I think that it's a lot further along than what it should be a lot further along. I think that Aave's got a lot more room to run. Once again, ETH is king of DeFi, so I would like to see that. And then, you have the internet computer as well, up 5%, one of our personal favorite projects here. And then you have on the downturn, Toncoin down 6%. Toncoin is slipping fast. So we know that you had the outage or the downtime on the Ton network. We know that its founder of Toncoin, the Telegram, has been briefly in prison and is being held within the country's borders, not allowed to leave. And so what does that say for Toncoin? You can see here, this is on the 1 day from $5 all the way down to $4.50. And then on the week, even uglier, $5.50 down to $4.50. And so, are we going to see Toncoin out of the top 10? It's about to happen. Cardano's about to flip Toncoin. Do you like Cardano versus Toncoin? Do you like Cardano more so than Ton at the moment?
Yeah.
In the short term?
That's
what I mean. In the short term, there's been a lot of interest in Ton. There's been a lot of community playing around on those Web3 games that they have. And, Cardano's taking a little while to get, the car up and running. And so, no, I don't want to say up and running because Cardano's operational. It's building out. It's just I guess the retail adoption is lagging a little bit compared to other top projects like Solana and Ton. But I think that Cardano's time is right around the corner. So excited to see that. But
if Toncoin gets to sub like $3.50, that might be an interesting play. Very risky, but interesting play.
Well, but even if it goes down to $3, it's still inside the top 20. And so I still would feel a lot more comfortable, it's still at a, right now it's at $4. And so if you were to cut the market cap in half, and so if it was at $2.30, it would still be right around Chainlink's price. And so you'd get more upside return on market cap from Caspa, ICP, Near Protocol. And I can't, with good faith, take a play on Toncoin at $2.50 and fade Caspa and ICP just simply because Toncoin's down. And so when I match up the fundamentals, ICP and Caspa and Near Protocol all trump Toncoin's ecosystem. I don't care even if Toncoin got to $1, I still would fade it.
You're crazy. You're crazy. $1 you would fade?
Compared, if I had to pick Toncoin at $1, so if Toncoin fell from $4.50 to $1, which means that the narrative is pushing it down, that
unless Telegram goes under, unless Telegram is banned globally in countries, that would be the only.
Okay, so ICP came out, massive overvaluation, right? And I know it was abrupt because of the market makers, but the price absolutely just tanked, right? There are plenty of examples of something coming out and being overvalued. Now, I know the time window's a little longer, but you don't think that Toncoin just came onto the scene out of nowhere, just got launched within, what was it, the last 9 months?
But there was stuff happening on the chain.
Yeah, it came out in September, in August. And so is it overvalued? Did the value of this thing get mismatched? And so for me, the order books aren't that deep realistically. Because 90% of the holders are all concentrated into 100 wallets.
Okay,
and so for me,
a lot of people say Caspa's overvalued.
But they're very decentralized and their price is there because of the order books. And there's an extremely large group of smaller to medium-sized wallets, while Ton, their price their price history goes back to August. They're brand new, and 90% of the tokens are held by a very, very small elite group of wallets. And so for me, if this thing drops to $1, I think like, hey man, it was overvalued when it came out. That would be my initial thought. And so will it bounce back? Maybe. Would I rather buy Toncoin at market cap number 22 at $1 or at ICP at that same range? And now that ICP has a track record and I know what direction it's going, I don't know. Maybe Toncoin keeps dropping. Maybe it's outside the top 20 and then the 50. And then I'm not playing Hamster Combat or Wee Wop Bobble or whatever the hell that games they got going on there.
200 million people are.
And so, yeah, and so was Axie Infinity, and we saw how that bled off, right?
You still make money on it.
Yeah, but would you buy Axie Infinity right now? It's way down from where it was, but there were millions of people playing Axie Infinity, and so for me, I'm like,
unless you're saying Toncoin already had its bull market rally. Is that what you're saying?
I think that Toncoin had its bull market rally. I think that it came out.
I don't think it has.
I came out. I think it got a lot of attention because of the Telegram name. And realistically, I think that if you were to tell me, hey, there's a social media platform, they're going to launch a token and it's going to be in the top 10 in 3 months, will it stay there? I would tell you no immediately. I'd be like, nah, it's just going to be overbought. It's going to be hype. And then once people actually start realizing that it's a new chain and doesn't really do much, it's going to sell off. And then the price will find its bottom. And then from there, it'll climb its way back up to wherever we think it's going to be.
I think for me, $1 Toncoin, if Telegram's not shut down, is a play. Not a long-term play, but a money maker.
So you would rather go $1 Toncoin than if Toncoin went from $4 down to $1, and we're going into the meat and potatoes of a bull market. Let's just say come November, Toncoin is at $1, and you're gonna go with Toncoin versus ICP.
At what price is ICP?
It's the same exact price it is now.
Yes. To strictly make money in the short term, yeah. What? This is what it is. Let's talk about Polygon. So the Matic token, Polygon developers transition Matic token to the POL token. The change introduces POL as the new ticker symbol for the native gas and staking token on the Polygon proof of stake chain. Exchanges are expected to list the upgraded token. It'll maintain its current or existing tokenomics at 10 billion tokens. Matic holders on Polygon proof of stake do not need to take any steps, as the upgrade will happen automatically. But Matic holders on Ethereum, the Polygon ZK chain, or any centralized exchanges must actively migrate their tokens to POL via a migration contract. Guys, when stuff like this happens, there's going to be scam links. There's going to be phishing links. Be careful. If you're a lot of the top exchanges, including Coinbase, they will automatically make the swap for you. So if you have Matic, whether it's on Ethereum, well, on Coinbase, it is on Ethereum. You can actually have it on Polygon as well. Either of those situations, if you got your Matic on Coinbase, they will automatically migrate it for you. There's no need to click links, but if you have it in self-custody and you have Matic on Ethereum or Matic on the ZK chain, you're going to want to go to their migration contract and migrate your tokens over. There is no deadline, so there is no rush. I have to get it done. Take your time, have your due diligence, and make sure that you don't click a stupid link and lose all your money. Now, what is this going to do? It's going to make the ecosystem more connected. And instead of having a fragmented token kind of staking, gas paying scenario, I'm sure there's better words to use there, but one token will be used for everything, for the POS chain, for the ZK chain, and for the Ethereum layer 2 chain as well. It'll all be the POL token instead of 2 or 3 different tokens, which, think about it, it's good long-term for the token price at least, right? Same tokens being used versus you see more activity happening on the POS chain versus the Ethereum layer 2, and then you see appreciation in one token and not in the other one. This kind of combines it all under one umbrella. What are your thoughts there?
I mean, for me, it's not like you said, not creating a second token. And what I like the most about this is it's about damn time we just label this thing POL. Because think about all the new people getting into the market. They're like, Matic. Like nobody calls Polygon Matic, right? I mean, we do, the people that have been in the space, that know, but realistically, Polygon is Polygon. That's how we never say, yeah, today we're going to cover Polygon Matic. Like, I understand that is part of the name, but realistically, people just call it Polygon. Polygon. That's normally what gets thrown out there. And from a marketing perspective, just call it Polygon. POL is the ticker. I think that it sounds kind of asinine just to think of it as something that simple, but I think it is that simple. You know what? Crypto nerds they're unplugged from doing research a lot of times, and they see Matic and they're like, and so just keep it simple, keep it Polygon. I think that it's a good move.
Toncoin at $1 or Polygon right now?
I'm not gonna buy Toncoin on the way down. I'm sorry. I think I just don't feel comfortable picking up. If Toncoin goes from $5.30 down to $1 with their Telegram founder being locked up with outages on the chain, I am just not comfortable buying that asset and going into a bull market off of the hopes. And even at $1, it's still like a top 25 project. And so why on earth would I risk losing out on a bull market buying a depreciating asset? If we were in a bear market, that would be a different story. Case in point, Solana. Solana goes from $200, it's down to $10. Sure. Will it rise back to its former glory? Okay. But I'm not going to buy something in a bull market that's going down or even trading sideways. Look at last bull market with XRP. You could have been like, you know what? It's this cheap, the court case, whatever. You're going to miss the whole bull market. If you want to take risk, buy a smaller asset that's grown a lot. Go down the list. Like if you want to take on risk, you want to say, hey, look, I'm looking for some good upside. I want some discount right now going into the bull market. I mean, I think Gala Games at 90 is an absolute steal. Like this thing it is at a penny, 1 penny. Do you know how high Gala Games got? 70 cents last bull market.
It's not going to get that high this week.
I'm not saying it will get there, but that's a 70x almost, it's still almost 2 cents. So it's 40 something, 50x from where it is now. If I want to take a risk on, hey, a project is down, I want to pick it up before a bull market, I'm not going to get something that is down from its initial price launch and hoping it's going to bounce back. If you were in the bull market, like here's another example. We'll go back to ICP. ICP came out on Coinbase, all the major exchanges, $200 for ICP. If you were to sit here and tell me like, hey man, ICP, bro, it came out at $200 and now it's at $80. I'm buying right now. You would ride that train all the way down to $5. Now, is it that big of a mismatch? I don't think so. I don't believe so. I don't think that ton's going to go to 10 cents. I don't think it's going to be that dramatic of a fall. But what I'm telling you is that case in points, you can look back at history and you can say, hey, this thing came out at the beginning stages of a bull market and it went the opposite direction. I don't want no exposure to that. I really don't. And just to expand, Gala, number 90, way better play than ton at $1 if you're looking for upside return. Akash, 95 on the coin market cap list with the potential rise of AI. Elon Musk just launched his supercomputer, 100,000, 30 grand NVIDIA supercomputers all tied together. Plans on buying another 100. Could we see it the next stage of the AI bull market? Absolutely. Is this a good play? Absolutely. WorldCoin, you can go with that thing if you're looking.
Okay, stop there. WorldCoin.
I'm just saying that like all of these, Beam I think is a good play. If you're looking for that real big pop. Flare, let's not discount Flare. I think Flare has a lot of potential. And then maybe Elron, Quant. I mean, Quant, what a sexy project at 75. These are all things that I could not in good faith fade these projects and go all in on a ton coin that's going the opposite direction of a bull market?
I don't know why it has to be one or the other. Why can't you just?
Because when I go to buy an asset, that is exactly what it is. If I have $10,000 and I say, or $1,000 or $100 or $500, and I'm looking to buy ton coin or replace with another coin, you are saying that, because I could buy that ton coin for $5,000 at that moment, or I could buy any one of these other assets I just listed for the same price. So it is an and or I could buy Bitcoin, or because every time you buy something, you are not buying something else. And that's how I look at my investments.
You say that about anything.
Exactly. And so that's why I wouldn't, and I'm not, it's exactly that. Every time I buy something, I say, is this the smartest way to use my money? Now, and if I'm taking on more risk, is that the smartest risk play I could have right now? Because if you're buying ton at $1, you're obviously taking on risk. And if I'm going to take on risk, I'm going to go with something else. If I want to take on less risk, I'm going to go with Bitcoin. If I want a little more risk than Bitcoin, I'll buy Ethereum. If I want that ton coin range of risk, I'm going to go somewhere else.
Talk to me in 6 months. That'll do it for the show today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. That's all I got. Rocco? Thank you guys so much. Come back tomorrow. Same place, same time. We love you guys. Till tomorrow.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't